All right. Hey guys, this is your girl Sonia, the Quantum Liberator, liberating you one subconscious pattern at a time. Today's pattern that we're going over is the people pleasing pattern. And remember, all of these patterns that I'm going over are all subconscious patterns they're nervous system patterns that we took on from childhood in order to keep us safe. But they are not who you truly are. They're not part of your personality. Okay. So our bodies were actually wired for love and compassion and understanding. Love is compassion and understanding and non-judgment. You cannot have a judgment where there is love. And so our bodies were literally wired for this. And science shows this, that we have to be compassionate with ourselves and understanding with ourselves in order for true change to happen. So all of these patterns that I'm going over, every single one of them is not who you truly are. Every single one of them are nervous system reactions that your body was actually trying to keep you safe in connection, because our bodies have evolved over millions of years, basically from when we had to just survive from like a bear or a lion chasing us, into now all these survival patterns come up in love, and basically in love and connection. And there's more survival patterns, but my specialty right now is relationships. So we can talk about all the other stuff on a different time, different platform. But I'm going over all the relationship patterns. All right. And so if you feel responsible for other people's emotions, this might not be kindness. Okay. So if you feel responsible for other people's emotions, it doesn't mean that you're being kind or okay. So if you say yes when your body is screaming no, your nervous system might be stuck in survival mode. Basically, if you feel responsible for other people's emotions, this might not be kindness. It's actually a people pleasing pattern. And so, real life behaviors for this pattern could be agreeing to avoid tension, apologizing when you didn't do anything wrong, over apologizing, prioritizing others to the point of burnout and your body feeling heavy, you're burnt out, feeling guilt for having your own needs, scanning the room to keep everyone else comfortable, fear of disappointing people. So, people pleasing isn't generosity, it's safety seeking. People pleasing develops when connection felt conditional. I know in my era, since I'm a millennial, most of our parents made love conditional. So basically, you had to be the good girl or boy in order to receive love. So it was transactional, it was conditional, but that's not how love is supposed to be. And so your body went into survival mode in order to keep the connection. You made yourself small. You started pleasing others, people pleasing, in order to keep the connection, since it was taken away when you were being quote unquote bad. So people pleasing develops when, I already said that, your nervous system learned harmony equals survival. So possible origins can be emotional unpredictability in childhood, needing approval to feel safe, being rewarded for being easy, punished for expressing your needs, caregiving roles too early. If you're a kid taking care of a kid, this could have happened. And this is not to shame your parents, because your parents only knew what they knew back then. And it's not to shame anybody. This is only to bring awareness to your patterns so that you can change it yourself and not pass it on to your kids. So your body learned that belonging required self abandonment. something that I grew up with because I was in a, I'll say that it was my mother. It was my mother. And this is not, I don't blame her anymore. I don't shame her for this because I understand that how she had it growing up, and she only passed on what she knew. And so I'm the one to break that pattern. I was a people wouldn't so being in the Marine Corps, my Marines wouldn't have known that I was a people pleaser. It was basically in my closest relationships that I was a people pleaser. I would just go with the flow. I didn't even know what my wants or needs were because I had shoved them down so far that I was just doing what everyone else wanted to do. And it really didn't hit me until a relationship that I was in that it just had to come out because every button was being pressed from childhood. And so it had to come out. I had to learn and I had to become aware of my patterns in order to change them. And so here's the hidden cost of people pleasing. So again, it's not to blame, it's just for awareness. Resentment, burnout, identity confusion, attracting one-sided relationships all the time. Yeah. I used to wonder why I was attracting, why am I giving more than I'm being given in my relationships? Like every relationship, friendships, romantic relationship. And I didn't know back then because I didn't realize I was in a pattern. But like I said, again, awareness is key because once you become aware, the key is to be compassionate and non-judgmental with yourself in order to rewire from people pleasing into secure attachment. So chronic anxiety, which I used to have, and I have no anxiety anymore, like none at all. So this stuff works. Feeling invisible. The pattern protects connection but disconnects you from yourself. So this is about getting to know you better than anyone else. I didn't know myself. You don't truly know yourself until you start learning the things, like why you do the things that you do. So this is not about stopping people pleasing right away because obviously our body needs time to adjust. It's in micro shifts. So pause before answering. Feel when you feel the urge to say yes, ask, what do I actually want? You have to ask yourself the right questions. Like, what do I actually want here? And you got to be able to sit, you can even journal to yourself. I've done a lot of writing. I've done a lot of asking myself out loud, talking to myself, because it sounds crazy at first and it feels crazy at first, but once your brain gets used to it, when you become your own best friend, that's when you don't need anyone else. Like it's nice to have people, and people, you will start to attract better people. The closer relationship you have with yourself, the better relationships you're going to start to attract. So I ask myself questions all the time now. If I want to make like certain decisions, I ask myself certain questions like, does this feel expansive or does it feel contracting? Does this feel like I'm trying to win validation, or does it feel like I actually am whole in myself to make this decision? And so that's just a little tidbit I'm throwing in. But back to the people pleasing pattern. So practicing basically starting to practice tiny honest no's. Every time you change something and do something different, it feels better and better to say no. Let people feel disappointed without fixing it. So it's okay for people to feel, you're not responsible for other people's feelings. It's okay. Even if you're like I've always been an empath. So I've always been able to feel what other people feel. And I didn't realize I was taking on their emotions. And that's why I would feel bad to say no. So it's just about being able to figure out where, especially if you feel deeply like I do, then this actually helps you to become better at finding the wall, the energetic wall between somebody else and you. And it's not about feeling cold. It's not about being cold or rude. You're not being cold or rude by stopping the people pleasing pattern. You're actually doing more for them and yourself by doing this. So secure attachment includes the right to disappoint people. All right. So if you people please, your nervous system is trying to protect connection. The work isn't becoming selfish. It's learning that your needs don't threaten belonging. So this pattern is also part of my secure attachment blueprint. Awareness is where rewiring begins. All right. You guys have a good rest of your night, and I will see you guys for the next pattern.